Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Price is higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Rufino's on Highland Road, welcome to Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris and Edward Jones Investments. I'm Charles Hannegriff, along with former Tiger Richard Dixon. Jimmy Ott will be with us in hour number 2 and 3. It's a normal Friday.
Yeah.
I said that. I almost believed it. You know, it's like this is a normal Friday.
It's just, it's new stuff to talk about, for me. Season came to an end last night.
Oh, wait. Look. I don't want to bury the lead here.
Yeah, it's
the Lions.
Big deal. I mean, we took the number 1 team that was undefeated. Get up 12-0 at halftime. Some BS calls.
You South Carolina did? You blew the lead?
Yeah, we lost 13-12.
Oh.
Had some young kids. Like, you know what? I appreciate the young kids coming out there to referee these games. But God dang it, they're stupid sometimes. We had a couple touchdowns called back. We got a couple little whiny baby coaches on the other team.
They're making $15 a game, Rich.
Yeah, but I want it done right.
I understand.
And you know what? And
You're a perfectionist.
I got these other coaches that whining and complaining. I'm like, at this point.
I completely respect
rough
it.
morning. But you know what? I was proud of the guys, the youngest team out there, and they held their own.
I'm
retiring, by the way.
Oh, you're retiring?
I think I'm a retire.
I was going to ask you if you were going to work the portal this morning. If you roster retention's important.
No, the one thing I've learned this year is I hate flag football. I mean, you are teaching kids to stop their feet and reach and grab, which is everything I've been taught not to do my whole life. And then they want to call our kids for flag guard, and I just want to hit people.
You didn't play flag football when you were a kid?
No, my dad said that I was only – bad words.
Oh, okay.
My dad taught me young. He's like, you ain't doing that.
There was no such thing as flag football. I mean, there was flag football, but there wasn't organized flag football.
There was kids in the neighborhood that were playing flag football when I was a kid, and my dad was absolutely against. And I understand why now. He's like, it teaches you how to play football the wrong way. There's nothing positive about you playing that. And
so you're quitting.
Just today.
I understand.
I'll probably come back.
Well, I mean,
we'll go back to tackle next year.
Think about the kids. You just helping out the kids. All right, so the Lions are out. That season is over. I said today is a normal Friday, and of course it's not. This is starting out as a very quiet day here in Baton Rouge. Whether it ends that way is anybody's guess right now. The next 8 hours or so could produce anything. I'm not taking anything off the table. So this is what we know. All right, that there is a meeting between. This was yesterday's news, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Is that Keith Carter, the athletic director at Ole Miss, is meeting with Lane Kiffin. That team was on campus this morning. They had a staff meeting, and then they broke, and I would assume that they let the team go. I don't know that for sure for the weekend. That's generally what you do when you have a bye. But they were there this morning. We know that. He's going to go into this meeting with Carter, maybe in there right now, as a matter of fact. What he's going to tell Keith Carter, nobody knows 100% for sure. So
is it more of what he's going to tell Keith Carter or what Keith Carter going to tell him?
Well, I think what Keith Carter tells him depends on what Lane tells him.
Yeah.
So what are the possibilities? He could go in there and say, I am going to sign my contract extension and I am going to stay at Ole Miss. If he does that, my guess is that we will know that this afternoon, because if I'm Ole Miss, I want to tell the world as fast as I can that, yes, he is staying here. Streamers, balloons, maybe a cake, certainly a very loud press conference if he says he's staying. So that's the easy part. If he says that this afternoon, we'll know that immediately. If he says something else, that's where the fun starts. If he says, I am going to Gainesville or I'm going to Baton Rouge, then Carter can do a couple of things. He can say, well, you got to get out right now. And there would be some pressure to do that from Ole Miss boosters that have given him money. Say, okay, you're taking another job. Give me your key card, and we'll send you your stuff. Get out.
Yeah.
And promote probably Joe Judge to interim coach, and they would move forward. He could tell him that he could stay and coach the Egg Bowl, but not coach in the playoff. Ole Miss needs to win that game next week. We talked about this yesterday. If they lose that game, they are in jeopardy of missing the playoffs. It's not a done deal, but it would be a bad loss to Mississippi State, and they would be without their coach going into the playoffs. The committee would look at them as being diminished, and they would be in very big danger of missing the playoffs. So they are in. That. So they are in. They would obviously be in better position to win the Egg Bowl if Kiffin is on the sideline, but I think they would rather chug sour milk than have him on the sideline in an Ole Miss visor. And when the thing goes up on the television, it says Lane Kiffin pending LSU or Florida coach while he's got the Ole Miss stuff on. But do you cut off your nose to spite your face? Do you say, well, I understand that looks bad, but we want to win this game so we can get in the playoffs? He could tell him, hey, listen, I think this is highly unlikely, but he could say, you could coach in the playoff. I think there's zero chance of that happening, but who knows? They could get into that room and change their mind. I would say right now the chances of that are zero, or as close to zero as you can get without being absolute zero. So those are the things that could happen.
The other thing the only other output of that meeting that you're not discussing about, and to me it's just I don't know how, but what do they present to him this morning? What do they tell him? What do they show him? And what does he say? I need to go home and think about it.
No, I know.
Okay. What are they presenting this morning if they're not going to give him time to think about it?
I don't think. No, I don't think that. This meeting, as I understand it, is for Kiffin to give them some clear understanding of what he is going to do. I think the time for upping offers and amending offers, from Ole Miss's standpoint, I think that is over. I think they have made that contract has been on his desk for a month, maybe more. I think that it's probably gone through some changes. They've upped offers.
I was thinking more of the NIL deal because you heard the big thing about LSU is committing $30 million to NIL.
Yeah.
And this was the big splash, and we're all in on the NIL. They come back and make a counteroffer, say, we'll give you 35 for NIL. Or,
my understanding is that has already been done.
Okay.
That they have. This is our offer.
Yeah.
And I think LSU has done pretty much the same. The parameters of it anyway. Maybe not every I dotted and T crossed, but LSU's offers out there, Florida's offers out there, Ole Miss's offer is out there, and make a call.
Guys,
I really don't get the impression that at this point we're talking about nickels and dimes at the end of the I think everybody's NIL money is out there. I think everybody's contract offer is out there. I think everybody's staff budget is out there, and make a decision.
My guess is, he wants to leave, but he can't do it. Like, he's having that internal struggle, and I don't know how you do this. Like, you as a football player, like, the worst thing you can do is quit on your team. Like, and that is where you were considered hated. You can love a guy. Once you quit on a team, they hate you, and that's teammates. When you quit on me, you're dead to me. I mean, that's how I felt. I know other guys feel that way because you go through so much and do so much stuff, and it's hard. People don't realize how hard football is, and you wake up and just beat the hell out of yourself every day. That's the hardest. I think it's an internal struggle with. I know that my dream. Lane's always wanted to be the USC. He left Tennessee, quick to go to USC. Didn't work out. He went to FIU, goes to Ole Miss. Now you got Florida and LSU, and I think in his mind that's where he wants to be at one of those programs, but it's the internal battle.
I think what you're saying is about quitting on him, okay? I think, honestly, it would be very difficult. This is just my opinion. I didn't play college football. I'm going to ask you, if Les had come into that locker room before the SEC championship game and told you guys, listen, the report's true. I'm going to Michigan. But today I'm an LSU Tiger. We're going to go out there and we're going to whip Tennessee. How would you have felt?
To me, it turns into, well, screw you, leave. We don't need you. We'll go out there and win despite you. And that more fires you up. In a different way, could fire you up. But, I mean, if you're going to quit on us, like especially, I get Michigan's a blue blood and was a big time, his alma mater. But when we're making that run and you get to championship season, to me, like, you're dead to me. Like,
yeah.
So now we're going to try to go after you and do everything to win despite you.
Or after the game. Guys, I'm so proud of you. We're SEC champions. We're going to go play for the national championship. By the way, I'm going to go coach at Michigan as soon as that's over and let that linger for a month.
Yeah.
Now, this is just a week. But I think, Rich, I mean, you played. You're telling me what I would have, strongly assumed, which is that if he says I'm going somewhere else, he's got to leave immediately.
Yeah, no, he has to.
I don't see any way that you can stay on that campus for another week.
There's no competitive young athletes are going to listen to a guy that's quitting on them. Yeah. And so at that point you've lost him because I don't care what you have to say anymore. Leave. Like you're not one of us anymore. Yeah. It's tough. So I think that battle with him is killing him right now because he loves those kids. I really feel like he genuinely and this isn't just this year, the years before, like the way he hangs out with the players and does everything. I think he generally loves his players, and that's the biggest internal battle. Like that's a very hard thing to deal with.
I agree with you. I think this is the job that he has wanted, and I think it's LSU and not Florida. I could be wrong. They could be having a press conference in Gainesville at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah. I can't tell you for sure what's going to happen. But it appears to me that LSU is out in front of Florida this morning, and that if he does go in there and say he's going to leave, it's more likely to be for here than it is for there. That could all change, but that's how I feel right now. Been on the phone most of the morning. The idea that he could somehow keep this under wraps between now and next Friday. Next Friday, the Egg Bowl will kick off exactly 1 week. Well, I'm sorry, we're going on 10 this morning. At 11 o'clock next Friday, we'll be right in here. By the way, they open on Black Friday early. Come get your gift cards. $100 gift card, $50, 11 o'clock for the –
I'll be in here watching it.
Yeah. But the idea that this could stay under wraps or that he could put this decision off for another week just seems implausible at this point. I don't think that this can hold another week. I don't know how
he can focus anymore or anybody can focus. I mean, that's all we're talking about. I get 30, 40 text messages a day like I would know something.
And it ain't even your job.
That's not what I do. But I know, the thing that's obvious to me, and obvious to everybody, I believe, and you've already said it, is Ole Miss extension's been there. It's not about money anymore. Everybody's going to be around the same. I was talking to a guy this morning, and he's like, man, I know a lot of really wealthy people. 10 million, 12 million don't mean crap to them. I mean, once you're making 10 million, 12 million ain't nothing. 12 million, 13, that's not it.
Yeah, so if this contract is 12.5, 13, 13.5, 14, that's minor details at this point. The money's about the same.
And the struggle, I think, is all about it's the love for the players. You got him there, and knowing that there's people like the people he cares about could hate him instantly. I think that weighs on people more than
when you've been in the soup with these guys all year. You recruited them to come to your place. You go through spring football. You go through summer workouts. You go through August camp. You ask all this of them, and I'm sorry, but if I'm an Ole Miss player, I'm gonna especially if I'm a senior, I'm gonna look at him and say, you know what? We beat these guys 3 years ago. We beat them this year. We should have beat them last year. We're one play away from beating it. And you think they're better than us? Carry your ass to Baton Rouge. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's even more awkward now because, it's been talked about for so long. I mean, it's obviously everybody knows that he's not sure if LSU's better. Like, it's been put out there.
Is the most likely thing try to get into Lane Kiffin's brain, good luck. Yeah. But it's the most likely thing that he's like, you know what, I want the LSU job, but I really don't. I want to coach this team to the last game, and then I want to go to Baton Rouge, and that's just not possible.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's possible. Even if they were to lose in the first round, even if they were to lose the Egg Bowl, I just don't see where that's possible.
That might have been possible 3 weeks ago, and they had some really hush-hush meetings real quick. We're going to keep it going, but not as long as this thing's drug out.
I don't see. And then you send your family on the sightseeing. Well, I mean, you're married, okay? Hey, I want to move you halfway across the country, sight unseen. Although it's not like she's never been to Gainesville. It's not like she's never been to Baton Rouge either.
That's what I'm talking about. Her daughter, and they've been to LSU almost every weekend this year. Like the family knows it. That was a little bit more of.
It was over the top.
Over the top. You know what, sweetheart? Go rent a car and drive. It's you're 5 hours away from there.
Yeah.
Go drive over there for the day you want to see it.
Take a look around. The other meeting that is taking place right now, that started about an hour ago, is the LSU Board of Supervisors meeting that was called to discuss the contract of Brian Kelly. This meeting is not open to the public. We got our people that are monitoring what may come out of that, but this is not an open meeting. So until they come out of that, that's all I can tell you about that. You notice how that shifted down to story B really quick.
Hey, we don't care about that.
Pay him whatever you got to pay him. We don't care. Just get him out of here.
I found it really funny, and when the buyout came out, and then everybody's freaking out about money, and then the new coach, I don't want to go pay another high-dollar coach, and now it's drug on so long, everybody's come to the realization. Do whatever you want. It's not my money. I don't care.
Right. I don't have to pay for it. We're here at so that's all that's going on.
That's all.
My phone is right here. I got all. Everybody's in place. The entire staff is in place. Something happens, we'll let you know. If not, let's talk about the football game and stuff. We're here at Ruffino's. Restaurant opens at 11 o'clock. Our appetizer feature the andouille crusted shrimp with the pickled vegetables, crispy steak tips with Worcestershire marinade. Those are your appetizer features. The entree feature today, the rosemary pork chop with the chili shrimp toppings. Man, that sounds good. And the Sazon spiced snapper. You know what Sazon spice means? I didn't. I had to ask Chef Patrick. It is a cilantro and garlic-based spice that gives it a little color and a little bit of flavor. Your Sazon Spice Snapper is one of your entree features today. Week from today, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, we will have our annual Black Friday gift card special, where if you spend $100 in gift cards, you'll get a $50 bonus card that you can use between January and the end of March. And those will also be available online throughout the holiday weekend at ruffinosrestaurant.com. So that's coming up next week. They'll be open early on Black Friday at 8 o'clock. We'll do our last Football Friday next Friday at 10 a.m. So we'll be in here as they're selling gift cards, and, of course, we'll have football on that day too. Next Friday seems like a long way off. a long way. We'll take a break. We'll come back here. Lock of the Week Friday presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Ruffino's. We're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. If you're having a hard time getting insurance or insurance quotes on your coastal properties where you need flood insurance, on your big boy toys, your boats, your trailers, your RVs, your motorcycles, your tractors, let Morris Insurance Group help you out there. You can get a quote, morris-ig.com, or you can call 225-201-0007, 201-0007. Buzzy Hydell will help you out for auto, homeowners, and commercial insurance as well. The Morris Insurance Group, look again. morris-ig.com. One more thing on the Ole Miss thing before we move into more LSU football stuff. You, as we've talked about many times, are not an outside, more than just an outside observer to Mississippi football.
No.
And your father and your grandfather both played SEC football. Your dad at Mississippi State, your grandfather at Ole Miss. So this is not when we get to Thanksgiving, every time I always ask you about the family dynamic. So I'm just going to ask for your read. The Ole Miss fan base right now, in this state of limbo, what do you think?
You got two ways. You got the ones who are like just freaking out about because football is everything and we want to win football. And then you got your typical Ole Miss person who's cocky, full of BS, and they're like, fire him, we don't need him if he don't want to be with us. And I laugh at those people because they always think that Ole Miss is really good and going to be great the next year, and then they're delusional. But so you got two sets. You got the people that are freaking out that will do anything, that will go kiss his toes or whatever to get him to stay because they want to continue to have football to be fun at Ole Miss. And then you got your cocky ones that are like, we got plenty of money that if we're not good enough, we'll get somebody else.
If it were the previous era, they would have to hold on to him with both hands. And if he left, listen, you've been trying this for 60 years to get somebody as good as him. The gap is closed, like we've talked about, because of the NIL dollars. But to assume that the next guy that goes into Ole Miss can just start popping out 10-win seasons, even the most optimistic of the Ole Miss fans would have to say, well,
it's tough.
I don't know.
But if you want to talk about that, you're not going to be outbid. You got the money. You can spend the money. You're one higher. You get the right guy to get the right talent. I just think it's a different era to now because it was so hard in the past to go to Ole Miss or Mississippi State and start winning because you still couldn't get the recruits there. Like you were still when I played, they do the Danny Dozen, top 12 players in the state of Mississippi. Not one of us went to in-state school. All of us went Tennessee, Alabama, LSU.
0 for 12.
0 for 12.
That was a class of 06. Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think one or two committed, but they didn't have the grades. They couldn't get in.
And
they knew that.
Did your brother ever consider going somewhere else? To either one?
Auburn.
But not Ole Miss or Mississippi State.
So because it was such a bad image, and there wasn't anything you could do about it. Now – you want to go spend $20, $30 million on a roster, you can flip that thing quick and you get the right coach. I think it can happen a lot quicker.
It'll be interesting to see. I can only imagine what the reaction is going to be. And, this is just what it feels like today is they're trying to figure out how to get to next week, how to get through next week. Postseason will be the postseason, but there's a playoff berth hanging in the balance. There is, any amount of pressure on that team if he stays or if he goes. I still can't get it in my head that he would coach that game if he tells them he's going somewhere else. So we'll wait to see. All right, let's talk about the film for a little bit. Western Kentucky. Yeah. I really hope that this is the end of the November non-conference games outside of the rivalries, like Florida and Florida State. I mean, the non-conference rental wins in November. These games are tolerable in September, sort of like preseason NFL games. But
you're just ready for something.
Even worse than the preseason NFL games are the games that are played in Week 18 that teams don't care about, because they've already got their playoff positioning, so they sit everybody. Those games are worse to watch than preseason games, for me. And that's what this is. So Western Kentucky, pretty good team.
Yeah.
They're 8-2.
Yeah.
I got a hard time getting fired up for that. But I am interested to hear you talk.
Michael Van Buren
that's what I want. That's what I want to talk about. Nussmeier's been ruled out, and Van Buren's going to play. Richard, I thought after he settled in after the first quarter last week, he played really well. Then you and I did film study on Tuesday night, and I left that film study thinking I didn't give him enough credit after the first watch, because you pointed out some things that he did really, really well in that game.
He did. I was like everybody in the first quarter. I'm just shaking my head. He was nervous. He'd go out there, get his first start in Tiger Stadium. Really, truly was a must-win for Frank. I mean, you had to get something going right then. And he was struggling a little bit, low and wide on his throws. But once he settled in, man, he played with so much confidence, so much poise. The way, and not just to bash on Nussmeier, because he went through a lot of it. Michael Van Buren, he ain't been beat up yet, so he hasn't had some bad habits built in. But he was so calm in the pocket, steady feet, wasn't moving, wasn't flinching, threw some tight-winded throws, escaped when he needed to, went and got the quick yardage. I just thought he played really, mature for a guy that hadn't played much.
I want to talk about two plays that we spotlighted in the film study. One of them was a throw to Xavier Thomas in the middle of the field. This was the play that LSU ran on 3rd and 11 at the end of the first half against Alabama, where the pass is incomplete, the clock stopped, Alabama ends up getting the ball back with more time than they should have had and ended up getting points out of it. That throw, as we showed on the film study that week, was open to Thomas. Now, you had to fit it into the middle of the field, and it was down the field about
15 to 18 is the hit spot, and then rolling out.
And he had backed up, so the throw is about 30 yards, give or take. Okay. And Nussmeier did not see him or saw him and didn't think he could get it there, whatever. Van Buren makes this throw, and all they did was flip sides of the field. Thomas was coming off the right side instead of the left side. But he put that ball into that window, and Richard, you said this is the exact same play. They just flip sides of it. Last week, LSU doesn't make the throw. This week, LSU does.
Yeah, and I think it's just because of how beat up Nuss has been. His eyes are messed up right now. I mean, when you go watch the tape of Michael Van Buren, his eyes are downfield the whole time. Like, he's not worried about his legs yet. He's not worried about getting hit. And I think Nuss's eyes were drifting too much to where it took his eyes from being down the field, more worried about moving his legs and having to get out the pocket.
The second play was the 35-yard scramble that really put them in position to put the game away. And with the end zone view of what we saw, you pointed out how he read the safety, and as soon as he cleared, and I'm sorry, but no, Nussmeier's not going to take off and run for 35 yards, but I'm going to let you describe it. He just kept his eyes down the field, trying to make a throw, and then when it wasn't there, took.
It was just a very smart play. He saw man coverage. He had the pocket. Once he saw you had 3 men to the left side, you had one guy to the right doing a crosser. Once he saw the cornerback covering the crossing route, turn his back to him, he knows there's nothing but open grass, and he didn't hesitate. He immediately knew it was the right decision and took off. And, that to me, I think was the biggest play in the game. That was in the fourth quarter when you're trying to ice it with 4 minutes left. I think it's second down and the 12, something, second and long at that point. I'm getting nervous thinking that we're going to get the ball back to Arkansas, they're going to score. But plays like that where it was elite and it really won us a game.
The more I see him and the more I listen to him, the more I like him. I'm not suggesting that he is going to be Joe Burrow or Jaden Daniels and win a Heisman Trophy or anything like that. But here's what I like about the young man. He came here knowing that he would not be allowed to compete for the starting job because he says, I want to set myself up, I want to get some experience, and I want to be your starting quarterback after. Now, we didn't think it was going to come this soon. We thought it would be the 26th season where he would be competing. Mm-hmm. All right? So to do that shows that you're in it for the long haul. Then you go through a coaching change. Then you go through, well, now you're going to get a chance to play. And I said, well, what about next year? And he says, I want to be here.
Yeah.
I want to be here. I don't care who the coach is. I want to be here.
Think about that. There's a coaching change, and he still blows his red shirt. Not a lot of people are going to do that with a coaching change.
That's right. And even, we made the case that, hey, listen, this is a risk, okay? You are trading the 28th season for 3 games. Now, they're 3 full games. Yeah. When he made this decision, we didn't know if Nussmeier would come back or not. Well, now we know, okay? He's given up. The young man can be a starting quarterback somewhere in the 28th season. Yeah. I feel very comfortable about that. And now there is no 28th season for him. And starting quarterbacks get paid a good bit of money now. So he's betting on himself.
Anybody who watches that film and watches especially the second half is now got a position where they're going to want to watch the next 2 games.
Yeah.
And they, he might make himself some money and get a little bit quicker.
I like what I hear. And I like what I see out of Michael Van Buren at this point. We're brought to you by Total Maintenance, AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing. Total Maintenance, your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these things. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, the slogan has been service today, every day, so nobody ever has to go to sleep uncomfortable. Full-service staffs in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daykin, Ream AC units, Generac and Cummings generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. Live at Ruffino's Lock of the Week Friday presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Let Philip Fontenot and his staff do for you what they've done for us, which is map out that plan, that lifetime plan, and build that relationship so that you can have the peace of mind as you move towards retirement. No matter what age you are, what income level it is, they will make a plan that is perfect for you, that meets all of your needs, and you're going to feel very, very comfortable with it. Go to coastalcapitaladv.com, coastalcapitaladv.com to set up an appointment. Coastal Capital Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC. So the meeting's over at LSU. This just in. Yeah, this just during the break.
LSU fires Brian Kelly.
They have fired Brian Kelly.
Breaking news today.
Shocked. Yeah. The Board of Supervisors has authorized the new school president, Wade Roos, to send Brian Kelly written notice that he has been fired. So can you see the FedEx guy going onto the, I don't know, the 16th hole, 16th fairway? Coach Kelly, yes. Parcel for you. Sign on line 6, please. And he's going to just be absolutely shocked that this has happened. They went into private executive session. John Carmouche, LSU board member, asked the board to give Roos permission in consultation with general counsel to review and, if appropriate, send Brian Kelly written notice of termination under his employment agreement. Again, I just imagine his shock when he gets this letter. I've been fired? I had no idea. I was wondering why my key card wouldn't work. I can't get in the building. Somebody's in my parking spot. Frank, come move your car. No, okay. I get the legalese of all of this, I suppose.
That's the legal deal, because what's the 7 days for cause that he was saying it took us 14 days. So now technically we're coming back and putting on paper that we just now officially fired him.
Yeah, so in the lawsuit, Kelly said that LSU had taken the position that it did not formally terminate him. So they're taking care of that, as if that is any great shock. So there was no comments after the meeting, so we didn't get any clarification on the buyout, which is what I thought they were going to talk about today, and probably did, but not for public consumption.
Let's talk about a new buyout. We're about to give somebody a new buyout.
A new buyout? Yeah. Isn't it funny how when coaches sign contracts now, it's almost not even – I mean, everybody cares what the number is, but what's the buyout? What's the buyout? Like you're looking to fire the guy the day he gets the job. What's the buyout? How can we get out of this and get along to the next guy?
What is it going to cost us if this doesn't work?
Yeah. And we know – when Lane Kiffin signs his contract with whoever he ends up signing with, I think that you're going to see, we figured somewhere between $12.5 and $15 million, wherever it lands, and probably not 10 years. Probably 6 or 7.
Like everything's been 6 to 7. I think those 10-year contracts have hurt some people.
Which is reasonable. You should never be in a situation where I understand what they had to do to get Kelly and all that stuff, but if you have 2 years to prove yourself now, maybe 3 on the outside, okay? I think situations like Billy Napier getting 4 years with that record, I think those are – I don't think that happens with an expanded playoff.
What we talked about earlier, I mean, you can build your own roster pretty quickly. I mean, you can go out, give me the money. This is both of us now. Because at first when you hired a coach, you go bring in the talent, you go coach them up, you go get the right people. I mean, this is on you. So we're going to give you 5 years to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, how much money are you going to give me to go get the players? We can turn this thing around a lot quicker.
You have to. And I think in the expanded playoff era, you've got 3 years tops. And so why should the school be on the hook for 3/4 of your contract after 3 years? I think that's probably – this is the school's, pushing back just a little bit. I mean, it's not like
– still a stretch. I think 5 to 6.
So, let's say it's $13 million over 7 years. I mean, it's still over $90 million, even if I'm off a little bit.
Not 100 though.
Oh well, I mean it's a nice round number. So anyway, so yes, LSU has fired Brian Kelly. Breaking news.
Yep.
Got that taken care of. Wonder how Lane's meeting's going. To be a fly on the wall.
like my stomach hurts thinking. Like I just can't imagine. I know, and look, I'm not feeling bad for Lane. He's about to be the highest paid coach, but I don't think that's what I think it's an internal conflict. It's like going to break up with your girlfriend, and like you really like her, just you didn't want to stay with her any longer, and there's better things out there, and like that sick feeling you have to go make a decision.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
Really, I like it here, but over there's is going to be a little bit better. No, I wouldn't want to walk into that team room. I wouldn't want to do it. If unless he walks in and says, "Look, guys, I signed my new contract." Could that still happen?
Spark something. I think if it does, it can go one or two. Like I don't know. I think it could rally them up and get some pipe. Like, look, guys, I had to think about it. I mean, the players, you didn't commit to me when I offered you. Look, you had to think about it. You had other options.
Listen to you rationalizing. Okay.
You know, but I just have to my mind works. I mean, I had to recruit all y'all those SOBs for 2 years. You nickel and dime me. I had to come up from 300,000 to 500,000. Okay, so I had to think about my options too.
Wow, I'm impressed, man. You just walked it back in less than 30 seconds. In that, I bought it. If I'm a player, I bought that. Okay.
So let's go kick their ass.
Right. Yeah, okay. So that's fine. What about the other one? It's not you, it's me. Look, guys, I love y'all. You did everything I asked, but I gotta go. I gotta leave.
Yeah, I can't imagine having that meeting. Like, there's a part of me that said, like, Lane, just stay. I don't want you to have to do that. Like, that's so terrible. But like, I don't wish that on anybody. But that's not my problem.
But that's the. So if I could put myself anywhere, I could have put myself anywhere in the world this morning. I would have wanted to be in Keith Carter's office. If I could have put myself anywhere besides that, it would be in Jimmy Sexton's office or wherever Jimmy Sexton is today.
Jimmy's not nervous about nothing. He's drinking coffee, laughing. What we going to do, Lane? What you want to do?
You've seen the movie Trading Places where they're explaining to Eddie Murphy about the commodities market. And he says, tell him the good part. He's like, well, it doesn't matter whether the price rises or falls. We get paid anyway. That's Jimmy Sexton. You go to Florida, you go to LSU, you go to Ole Miss. It don't matter. I'm getting paid. I just got to figure out how I'm going to pay, where you're getting paid from so they can pay me.
And I can move my next guy.
I can move my next guy up. If you're staying there, let me move my next guy. And the next guy is another Sexton guy because it feels like Eli Drinkwitz would be the next call if Kiffin comes out of the –
His name really got hot the last few days for either LSU or Florida, it seemed like. I feel like he became the immediate backup plan for both schools.
Who's his agent? Jimmy Sexton. Okay, and his name is out there. I'm just shocked. John Summerall, another Sexton client. Okay, who's sitting there waiting for all of this to clear and going.
He's like, "Come on, guys, my turn."
Yeah, would you hurry up?
Yeah.
I mean, how many? If you had to ballpark it, how many people are waiting on Lane Kiffin to make a decision right now? And I don't mean the fans that are anxious to know. I'm talking about people whose next job depends on this one.
At Florida, Auburn, LSU,
Ole Miss, LSU.
Ole Miss. Like, you got the five right there. Arkansas, nobody thinks about that. They're moving on to something else. I was talking to a big buddy of mine last night. It's so quiet. It's more embarrassing. I'll tell you more of that later. But it's Penn State, Auburn, LSU, Florida are the schools that are in the same talks of hiring the Drinkwitz, Dillingham, to whoever, the guys that everybody's backup plan.
Plus Ole Miss. Plus Missouri.
If you start adding those guys, yeah.
I mean, if you're on Eli Drinkwitz's staff, don't you go in there and don't you say, Coach, and what's he going to say other than, guys, we're getting ready for Oklahoma. But my agent does call me from time to time, and there are a few jobs out there. But, I mean, what's he going to tell him? Yes, I'm leaving for LSU or Florida if they offer it. But they haven't offered it to me. I'm waiting on that yo-yo down in Oxford to make a decision so I can make a decision.
Typically those things, a lot of the guys know what's going on. I remember when it was Gundy maybe it was when Lane left Tennessee, and the big rumor was Gundy was going to Tennessee. And I knew a lot. I don't know if it was that one or one after that. Or maybe it was the guy that got caught with the money in the McDonald's bags and whatever that was. But one of the Tennessee openings, and Gundy, they were taking the job. He had told his staff. Everybody knew that they were going there, and it was like I knew coaches that told me, pack your bags, we're going to Tennessee. And then, like, at the last minute, some booster came in and they dropped a number on Gundy, and he's like, never mind, guys, we're staying right here.
That was T. Boone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came and said, I will pay you more than Tennessee. You're not going anywhere.
And T. Boone Pickens, you can make a very strong case, is the most influential booster or the most pre-NIL era. I don't know anybody that gave more money to an athletic department, publicly at least, than T. Boone Pickens gave to Oklahoma State. And
he took care of those coaches. I know coaches that left Oklahoma State, and T. Boone Pickens still checked in on them, got them hotels, set them up in resorts. I mean, he took care of a lot of coaches.
Well, Mac Butler, who was Les's –
Ric Flair.
Yeah, he called him Ric Flair.
Because when he walked into a team meeting, everybody went, woo!
Okay. Everybody liked Mac.
Yeah.
His wife worked for us, and so we got to know her. But when she was at Oklahoma State, she worked for T. Boone Pickens, so she told us plenty of T. Boone Pickens stories, and, well, almost every one of her stories ended with, and T. Boone wrote a check to Oklahoma State for this, and that was just what happened back then. We are brought to you by the Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store, also now in LaRose and Lockport. Tools for the season. Their Black Friday deals are already up on the website at thethibodeaustore.com. Shop for all of your power tools. Also, limited time indoor and outdoor security cameras and security locks. All of these are available on the website. Same-day pickup, or a lot of these items are available for delivery. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, Highway 70 in Pierre Part. You can also go again to thethibodeaustore.com. Cypress Furniture, great gifts for Christmas, unique items, outdoor grills, outdoor patio sets, tons of fishing equipment. You're going down to the Thibodeau store. Just about everything that you could possibly want. So head online, thethibodeaustore.com. Check out their Black Friday deals. There are a lot of them right now online. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap up hour number one. Live at lunch, Log of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
A couple minutes left here in hour number one here at Rufino's. Richard, let me ask you one football question. I mean, with football show and everything. Whit Weeks is going to play in this game, apparently. Tell me about this injury, since you've had them all, this deep bone bruise on the ankle, and the recovery time and what he's dealing with coming back.
I had a deep bone bruise on my shin. I was in a walking boot all week long, couldn't do anything, ice, stem. I had it for a bye week. It's pain tolerance. I mean,
this is the ankle, so this is different.
It's even worse. Mine, the problem was it swelled up so bad, like I had to get it drained. I mean, there was so much blood in there.
Yeah.
But for that, like, it's a moving part. You're cutting.
And apparently that's been the hardest part.
Yeah, well,
he's been able to run in a straight line. But
from what I've heard is, like, he can have a really good day, but coming back the next day, everything hurts 10 times worse because he's sore. So it's just getting to the point to where, the recovery was faster. You felt better the next day. I'm sure he's dying to play. I mean, all of us expected this was going to be his last year, maybe not, because I don't think that he got the playing time, or his father-in-law coming in or whatever.
Yeah, he's got another year left, right?
There's someone that could do it, but I'm excited to watch him play. He's one of my favorite players.
Well, we can watch him. So certainly his girlfriend got a little time on social media yesterday with that meeting.
Booster Club meeting.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So, Whit could have been speaking there. She just wanted to watch him speak. I spoke at a few of those women's Booster Club events.
I'm going to talk to you tomorrow on pregame. Who knows what will happen between now and then. Thanks, Rich. Back with hour number two here. Log of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments from Rufino's.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Rufino's. Restaurant is now open. Come on by and see us on this Friday. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
To recap, Brian Kelly has been fired officially.
Okay.
by LSU. They have approved that.
You take credit for scooping that?
Yeah, I think it came as a huge shock. I mean, can you hear the gasps all over the city?
We were down in Caesars, New Orleans, kind of wrapping a show, and the phones were just and yeah, we think this is happening. Yeah, wow.
So this is I guess the official written notice of termination, and we didn't get anything past that. The other meeting, the one taking place in Oxford. We wait, but you're
let me just on the
you're
Kelly
watching
thing.
the odds. Yeah.
Let me just talk about the Kelly thing. There was a disconnect between the board and Woody on that termination. So, and the legal representation on that board is, they just feel that they making their payments in some kind of way. I don't know how the athletic director is not in charge of, but I'm not an attorney. Yeah. There's been some things, but there was a disconnect on the termination. The report I got was, after the A&M game, he was kind of defeated. He thought that you saw his sideline behavior. Everybody can see how it escalated on his heated interaction with players and assistants, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he just wasn't this, this prickly pear, this crazy guy on the sidelines that we've seen sometimes in Notre Dame with the media. Everybody, man, you guys must say, no, he has been fine with us. Going beyond, above and beyond fine with the paranoia doesn't exist. He's on cruise control, but for whatever reason, there was some people on the board that felt that he might resign. He might hang it up. Now, you give up that money, but he would do it on a settlement, obviously, but they feel that Woodward pulling the trigger kind of gave up their leverage on that, and so they're trying to recover it right now. I don't think it helps the whole thing. Hey, man, you gave him the contract. You want to fire him. You didn't fire him for cause a year or two ago. You fired him because they got smoked against A&M in an embarrassing way at home. Yeah. Okay? And I don't know how it's going to find out. But and since that time where he was initially terminated to recently, the willingness to seek employment seemed to have declined for Brian Kelly. Shocker. Yeah. Shocker. So you didn't want to work when you were here. Why do you want to work again?
Yeah, I told you what I thought about that.
I know. I'm just resetting.
Sure.
But Landry's in town. She was in town.
That did make a few social media posts.
Yeah.
I think she's not. She's going to be noticed. Okay. Anybody associated to Lane Kiffin is going to be noticed at this point. So
when's the meeting with the AD today?
Apparently it's going on.
Okay.
This morning is what they had a staff meeting, and then he was apparently going to go talk to him.
Okay.
How long that takes, and I got my phone sitting right there. If it buzzes, I'll
it's gonna buzz.
Yeah, sure. When he gets
buzz away.
When he gets out of there,
y'all calling me at Rouse's tomorrow?
Musso sets the logs. I don't know. It's probably somewhere around 2:30 or something.
Okay.
After 2:30.
All right.
When does it? What's going to be different by the time tomorrow? What do you think?
A lot. I mean, it's
yeah. What do you think it's going to look like tomorrow?
It's an evolution, but I didn't check Cal. Let me check Calci as we talked about that. I mean,
you have odds on Ole Miss not to make the playoff, right?
I do. So the Egg Bowl line is out, and Ole Miss is a 9.5-point favorite next Friday. This time, kick it off. This time,
right?
Next week, exactly 7 days from now, they'll be kicking off at the Egg Bowl in Stark Vegas, and 9.5. And I don't know what Ole Miss. I guess mine is 450 or something, but I know that State is plus 310 on the money line.
Okay.
There is a playoff not making it, Ole Miss not to make the playoff. I just got down at plus 1120. Is there a chance that Ole Miss loses the game and doesn't make the playoff?
Yes.
Good enough for an $810 difference. I mean,
Right.
plus 810 difference. Yes. That's smart. And listen, Charlie, it's not just us. It's, I heard our buddy Chris Felico on with Gil from VEASAN on, and talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. What we discussed? What's the committee going to do? Lane Kiffin's not there to coach the playoff because Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly were hired that Sunday and Monday of rivalry week. It wasn't after conference championship week. So rivalry week for Ole Miss is done 7 days from now. That will give them an extended weekend to make it. Is LSU going to be that patient? I know LSU's antsy. I know Florida's antsy. I know Ole Miss, like Richard says, and he's got some roots and something like from fire him to give him the kitchen sink. Yeah. I mean, no, don't let him go. So everybody's getting antsy, and but I have to think he's had a pretty good relationship with this athletic director. And the athletic director is getting it from all angles, but he's seeking clarity. And will Lane Kiffin give it to him today? This is not just the yoga session.
Right. Yeah. I think he has to. I think he's got to give him some kind of idea of what they're going to do. I don't think this holds for another week in the pattern that it is right now. I've kind of changed my mind a little bit on that. I just don't think that this can hold for another week.
The Kalshi trend tells us that. It's right around 50-50 now whether he'll coach the Egg Bowl. That was not the case just 24 hours ago. That was almost 80-20 that he was going to coach the Egg Bowl.
And it kind
so
of
now that's like 50-50.
It kind of fits with what we're hearing, which is if he walks in there and says, "Listen, I'm going to LSU or Florida, and I would really like to coach this team one more time next Friday," whether they're going to let him or not. And a week ago, I kind of felt like they would, and now I kind of feel like, I don't know that he can go in there and with a straight face tell his team, "I love you guys, man. Let's go beat Mississippi State." But as soon as it's over with, I'm out the door. And the booster the booster pressure on Keith Carter to say, "Listen, man, I gave this guy a bunch of money, but he's jumping ship for one of our biggest competitors. He ain't coaching my team no more."
A Kalshi meter yesterday, Lane Kiffin was 31%. By the time we got off the segment, he went to 40%. Right now, he's at 55%.
To not be the coach.
So, no, it was LSU.
Oh, to LSU.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I jumped from the coaching the Egg Bowl to 55% LSU. That said, that's 56% as it changes. So it's a little stock, but it is higher than it's been. This is strictly market reflection. Right. This is, I'm sure some people are basing it on some information of the information that they think they have, but market confidence is at a week-long high with Lane Kiffin on Kalshi, where there are actually money being bet on this stuff.
Is it
invested on it?
Can you bet on Lane Kiffin to be the coach at Ole Miss past the playoff, or past the Egg Bowl? Excuse me.
Okay. Yesterday, Florida. Let me go step by step. Yesterday, the Kalshi to be the next Florida coach was 58%. And these are like 58 cents on the stock. This is like a stock. It's not like a percentile, a probability. He's going from 58 to 37
to be at Florida. Okay.
Also picked up at LSU. Pretty significant decline for the for Florida.
And Ole Miss.
I'm trying to find.
Can you even?
Yes, I can't find it.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going.
There's a lot of these.
They won't. Dog it. All right. It gives me everything, but let me.
Okay. The one thing I believe that could bring complete closure to this today is if he did say he would stay at Ole Miss. If he comes out of that office, if he goes in that office and says, "I've thought about it, I've going, and I want to stay." I'm going to sign the extension that has been on my desk. Well, Ole Miss is going to want that out immediately, okay? The fact that that hasn't happened and doesn't seem to have a whole lot of momentum towards it, we're not hearing that. The rumblings like, man, look, he's probably going to stay at Ole Miss. We're not hearing that. We're hearing the opposite.
Charlie, he would send a family. And, I mean, I'm sure the family didn't go on their own. He wouldn't send them to Florida and LSU. Maybe he would. He's a different cat. But you're going to create some damage. The first thing that goes sideways when he loses that game to Kentucky, I mean, there's going to be some damage that was done. Whereas as opposed to where the one of the big advantages for him staying is job security and low pressure. There's no doubt there's less pressure in Oxford than there is in Baton Rouge and Gainesville. But he has neutralized that advantage by staying at Ole Miss.
And if he does, you imagine the meeting with the booster to get player budget. And the guy says, 3 years ago you did this to me with Auburn. And this year you did it to me with LSU. If I hear from Jimmy Sexton next year that you're going to coach the Chicago Bears or the Atlanta Falcons, man, I about had enough of this crap. You want to be the coach here. We're paying you top dollar. We're giving you everything you want. And every 5 minutes you're back in here with your hand out.
LSU did that, and they went through it with Saban.
They did go through it with Saban.
I mean, it's part of it.
And if Kiffin comes here, I fully expect that to be the case. Jimmy Sexton does not sleep.
But here's where Dixon is kind of sending that little message because of his lifelong observations of the Ole Miss and State fan base, is that you set a record crowd. It was a big deal. They felt like they beat Florida, and they're a layup away from the playoff ever. The playoff appearance would be the biggest game since the early '60s in Oxford, and you're going to be up in 68,000. That's max. That's a number. And my buddy Chris Massero, who's coming on in a second, he gets on me for and they're playing that Cracker Jack, saying, well, that's just a reflection of your resources. It's how many people you could put in that damn stadium. It's not Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, LSU, Texas A&M, Texas. It's not that. It's just not. And so you have a limit. You have a ceiling. But they feel like, they don't feel they're the stepping stone that they actually are. Runts, maybe they moved up a little bit from the Runts, but they're still not on level with, the high resource, high expectation programs in the SEC.
And if he moves, that's going to be why.
But he's brought it on now through this process where that no pressure. Oh no, some of these Ole Miss fans will not forget this. And it's
if he comes to LSU.
No. If he stays.
Oh yeah, right.
He has damaged the low pressure, culture of that job.
Right.
Has he not?
Absolutely.
Because Saban met with my boy. Was it Chicago? Is it Angelo? The Chicago GM.
Peter Angelo, yeah.
Came in where I think we might have been at. I don't know, a South Carolina game. I think it was. We're at an afternoon game. It was a Saturday at the PMAC, and we got the thing at PMAC. And Angelo says. Nick says, well, I want total control of football operations. I guess you do, Nick. I love you, but you can't have my job.
Yeah. I'm trying to hire you, and you're trying to fire me. Thanks.
But
yes, Dan, I thought Mark Stoops did damage at Kentucky when he looked. It looked like he had the A&M job, and then they had to walk that back. And I still think he's paying
Charlie,
a little bit of a public relations price up
Kentucky to A&M. Come on, Ole Miss is better. Is a more competitive position in Kentucky.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to Kentucky's fans. What I'm saying is he did damage with the Kentucky fan base there.
Some, but not on this level. They think they're much closer. They're beating the teams. They're beating LSU.
Well, they're a playoff
team. They're better than LSU.
Yeah.
Right now. They're better than Florida.
That's why I would say if you got to go into that locker room.
Kentucky's never been better than that,
If you got to go in that locker room and tell them, if I'm a player there, I'm going to say, you want to go there? Fine. We beat them this year.
Well, no, that's happening.
We beat them 3 years ago, and we should have beat them in Tiger Stadium last year.
You love your coach.
You go.
You love your coach. Well, there's some. Everybody's antsy there.
They're going to have hurt feelings. They say, hey, you know what? We've been beating those guys. You go ahead.
But someone going to follow him.
Yeah.
Oh, big chunk. And not not all of them. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. He wins, man.
What's a big chunk?
Oh, I would say if he takes the LSU job, 15.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a chunk. That's a portal class.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole portal class. 15. Wow. Yeah, if he unpopular now, just every player you take is just a little bit more unpopular.
Those coaches are more obligated to him than they are the university. That's well, come on, man.
You're talking about players, though. That's a finite.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
You just said staff.
No. I'm talking about players.
Yeah, I would imagine he brings some staff.
Of course, every coach brings staff.
A little bit of staff. Keep a little.
No, a significant amount. There's not a coach that's taken another job that hadn't taken significant staff. They take their guys.
Significant staff. Saban showed up here with an empty plane.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
He might have asked, but they didn't get on that plane.
How that has changed, huh? We're like, dude, this guy's impossible to work for, okay? But he didn't have the status to like, man, and Lane Kiffin could speak to this. This guy's going to rebuild my career. Sarkisian, where was he when he went over there? Where's Loxley when he went over there?
Yeah,
my boy Signetti, Google me.
Yeah.
He got in there.
He was in there for a while. Yeah.
But so his going and work for Nicky Poo was a little bit different. Back
in 1999.
Yeah. Don't forget our friends over at Rafino. And by the way, Charlie, there's no is the next Ole Miss permanent coach is just the Lane Kiffin. Will he leave before November 28th? So there's no market.
And that's next Friday. That's the
Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl.
Got it.
All right, here at Rafino's, our appetizer feature for today and throughout the weekend is andouille crusted shrimp, Louisiana Gulf shrimp with a coconut bechamel, pickled vegetable, crispy steak tips with the Worcestershire marinade and peanut romesco. Entree features the rosemary pork chop, herbed quinoa, broccolini, chili shrimp topping. Suggested wine pairing is a decoy Merlot out of Alexander Valley. The Saison spice snapper, that's a cilantro and garlic spice snapper. Warm black beans, succotash, adobo rice, crab chimichurri, and the plantain chips. Wine pairing, suggested wine pairing is a Peju Chardonnay out of Napa. So come on by and see us here at Rafino's. Troy's going today, so we can go a little long with Macero because we want to see what he's cooking, if anything. Red gravy at the Thanksgiving spread at Macero's house. Macero.
Just like at Colucci's house.
There you go.
Live at lunch here from Rafino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rafino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Chris Macero joins us right now live from San Diego, I think. Macero, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm in San Diego. It was one of those weeks where I was in Vegas last weekend, stayed for Monday Night Football, drove home on Tuesday, and all of a sudden it's Friday again, and we got a whole slate of football and ready to go. It's just one of those quick weeks this time of the year, and I'm excited about it. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty in college football.
All right, we might have a double dose of you today if you got time, since Troy Macker, giving us the Bet Rivers handle, letting us know where it is if you're okay, because we don't have you on Sunday, so we'll get your pick for the NFL for Football Sunday today. But if you had one word, you follow sports religiously, but, a little bit more of a pro background growing up in Boston and San Diego, but you definitely follow college and basketball and football more. How would you sum up this whole flirtation with Lane Kiffin right now between Florida and LSU and Ole Miss?
Well, I was listening to your earlier segment. I had to chuckle that you and I'm sure most of the people in LSU who've made fun of the runts all these years are kind of begging, and you're at the mercy of the leader of the runts. And what I think about Lane Kiffin is, when I watch him, obviously he's a masterful offensive mind, but I think he's just kind of a conundrum. When you watch him do things that make absolutely no sense, when he pulled the quarterback on 3rd and 4th down against Oklahoma. I know they ended up winning that game. Just doing crazy things that like his brain can't shut off or something. He does the weird press conferences. He does the weird interviews at halftime and after the game. I'm just not sure what his story is, and I'm not sure that is ever going to actually elevate a team to the national championship. I think he might just be his level is 9-1, 10-2, just not going to ever get over the top due to whatever that is in his brain. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of a screw loose, short-circuited weird, but I don't know what it is. I mean, the guy's obviously talented. I mean, he's one of the youngest coaches of all time. They had him, with the Raiders and USC, and he's out at Alabama, and he's just all over Tennessee. He's all over the place. And everyone wants him, but I'm just not sure. It's almost like be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's very fair, and I think what you're hitting on is that at a lower – Charlie, I thought it was just such a bad fit but I learned pretty quickly that, this might be the best fit for Lane Kiffin off the field. No, he hadn't shut that – I'm sorry, hadn't shut that down. But they looked the other way in Oxford, okay? All right? So, all that he's mature. No, he's gotten older. I don't know how mature he's gotten. But the other thing is, at a high-resource, high-expectation program, there's just different levels of scrutiny. And if he's pulling by far his best quarterback, the guy that's bailed him out this year, Trinidad Hubbard, finally. And and we asked Brett Norsworthy, if Simmons didn't get hurt, Hubbard Chambliss might not even be playing. Chambliss might not be playing, and he is such an improvement from what Simmons was, and has allowed them, with a weaker roster, to accomplish more than last year's team.
Let me ask you guys this question, because I think the job that he's had that would, if he ends up taking this job that is most like this one, would have been Tennessee. Because when he was at Tennessee, Tennessee had not yet gone through 15 years in the wilderness. They were still – it had been pretty recent. They had been to an SEC championship game just 2 years prior to that. So it was still a very prominent program before they fell off the – what do you think he would have done long-term at Tennessee if the SC job never comes open and he stays there for however long?
Well, it was back when the NCAA had a stronger arm, and they were kind of cracking down on some of the Vols girls trips and things like that, some of his recruiting practices.
And he had a lot of penalties at SC that he inherited when he went out there. But let's just say, garden variety, he stays at Tennessee 5 years. Does he win a title? An SEC title?
Probably not, but maybe. He may have played for one. Maybe.
Give him a chance. Saban and Meyer at their heyday.
He would have given him a chance. He would have given him a chance because he was going to get players. He realized you got to get players, and he was going to do what he had to. I just worry about, the arm at that time. Frank Wilson, who was on his staff at that time, the interim coach for LSU, and he called me and said, what are they saying about us in Baton Rouge? I said, they're saying y'all cheating your asses off. So,
same thing they're saying about the guys in Alabama.
Yeah. What you're trying. So he was, just.
I don't know if he'd have won an SEC title because Meyer would have
given him a shot.
I think he would have won a lot of games there.
All right, Chris.
Hey, listen.
Yes.
He couldn't beat Florida last year with an NFL quarterback, the best defensive lineman in college football, 2 NFL wide receivers, a great offensive line, the big guy in the backfield. How can you put him in the SEC championship, winning it or national championship? It's just. I don't think he can reach that level. Last year's team was so much better than this year's team, and they couldn't even get to the playoff. They had it all on a silver platter.
Last year's roster was better. There's no doubt. Now, I will say this. I think Trinidad Chambliss is a better college quarterback this year than Dart was last year. Dart was making mistakes and missing guys. The LSU game, the Florida game. Remember the fourth quarter. I mean, that was disgusting.
They had multiple opportunities to win that game in the fourth quarter.
But I mean, no, just Dart alone.
No, he missed a lot of throws in that.
Well, he just gave the ball up too. He's just throwing jump balls,
multiple interceptions. Yeah.
I mean, in the fourth quarter, he just completely threw up on himself. Trinidad Chambliss cannot do what Dart is doing in the NFL right now. Speaking of that, Dart Rookie of the Year market. Do you think they're going to shut him down, Chris?
Yeah, I wouldn't go for that. He just the news just came out a couple hours ago that he didn't clear concussion protocol for this week, so he's out another game. I'm not sure how they'll look at that. And I feel like a guy that's he's missed. He missed the first 3 or 4 games because he wasn't named the starter. Then he's been injured a few more games. I mean, how many games do you have to play? I know he's been kind of impressive, but I think there's going to be better choices for that award.
Okay, and is Tyler Warren still have a shot?
They've never given it to a tight end, although he is very important in that offense. I mean, he was right from the get-go. He's involved in the passing game, obviously. He's involved in the blocking game. He's just been a great pick. It's surprising how he didn't go ahead of Colson Loveland, even though Loveland had a couple nice games for the Bears. But, Tyler Warren was the best player in college football last year. If you watch the games, the USC game was probably one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen, especially when you had USC, when I had USC plus the points, and we barely held on. I think we got it covered by a half a point in that game, but very impressive player.
And Drew Aller, he was certainly, you talked about that in August, where you get all this Penn State love, but you lose your best few players. Are we going to put more weight on Drew Aller's shoulders? And so, give Hester credit, man. We were over at Modesto one time. He was snuck in there for just a brief second. Come on, man. Who's overrated? Who's underrated? He did give me Penn State. It's a nice job, 18. On that call early in the year that Penn State he thought was overrated. Chris, nice result last night for our NFC East tickets on the New England Patriots. It's now a 2-game lead and the tiebreaker. Even if they split, they've got a better divisional record than the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, very exciting result last night, even though Houston somehow almost lost the game at the end. Buffalo really didn't do much of anything. They had the one fluky running play where for some reason, Houston had 9 guys in the box and no safeties, and Cook just got through the line and he runs a 60-yard touchdown. Then they had the kickoff return. So Buffalo didn't do much of anything. McDermott's going to get Josh Allen killed. I'm surprised he even came out of the game unscathed. He took an absolute beating. I'll tell you right now, the Houston Texans are a team to look out for. They're only 1 game back for the wild card. That's a team you don't want to play late in the year in the playoffs. Davis Mills has been serviceable. I think he's a little bit better than Stroud, to be honest with you, and the defense is the best in the league. What an effort, what a game by Will Anderson. Just a man amongst boys.
Daniil Hunter, who's better pro than he was a college player. It's just that simple. It's just that simple here from LSU. Chris, let's get to your NFL pick or two for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I really like the way this Dallas defense has kind of turned it around. They got Quinnen Williams from the Jets. Everyone kind of made fun of it. They're like, what's Jerry Jones doing? But, maybe they just played a lousy team last week, which they did in the Raiders. But I really like the way the defense is coming together. They're able to stop the run up the middle now. The young pass rusher from Boston College, who I've mentioned before, I have at a big price for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Donovan Ezeraku has really started pressuring the quarterback. He was involved in that safety that pushed the game over the total on Monday night. And I hear there's a lot of dissension in the Eagles' locker room, offensive side of the ball with Hurts and A.J. Brown. And their offense isn't doing much. I'm not sure if Dallas can win this game, but I like this game to go under the total. I played 48 right when it came out. I just feel like both of these teams, the fact that Philly's offense hasn't been doing much and the Dallas defense is kind of coming around. And, Philly's defense is obviously awesome. So I feel like it's going to be a tight game. It's in the late window on Sunday. And I like a tight maybe 24-21 or 23-20 type of game. I like the game to go under 48 points.
Okay, under 48. Your second best pick in the NFL this week?
This game, I don't understand how any points are scored in this game. I'm going under in Las Vegas Raiders, Cleveland Browns. You got Shadur Sanders, who looked like he never played football last week. Kind of unfair to him coming in middle of the game. Probably didn't get many reps. And then you look at the other side. You got the Raiders. Geno Smith, what a disaster this signing has been. I'm not sure what the Raiders are doing. Their offensive line is in shambles. They gave, their first pick in the draft, the 4th pick in the draft to Ashton Genty, and they handed them the ball 7 times for 7 yards Monday night. Like I said, Dallas defense came to play, but hey, the Cleveland defense is better than obviously the Dallas defense. So I'm not sure where the point's going to come from this game. You get a ferocious front for the Raiders. That's their one calling card that they have. Max Crosby getting after Shadur Sanders. Geno's lost. This could be one of those games where there's no touchdown scored or maybe no touchdown first half. Maybe get a little fun with that. I just don't see how this game goes over 36 points. Maybe there's some special teams nonsense or some, a pick six here and there, but I still don't see it going over the points. Both of these offenses are terrible, and the defenses have been pretty solid, especially Cleveland. So I like under 36 in Raiders-Browns.
All right, yeah. Shedeur Sanders meet the Miles Garrett, man. He is a wrecking house right now. Chris, can you hold on through the break? We'll get you a 5-pack this week. You're cruising, man. You passed us up. You're not quite to Bruce Marshall yet. He's a season leader right now, but you've been hot and certainly have passed us up as of late. Speaking of the Kiffin thing, it's so funny, the calcium meter. Up to yesterday at 31%, up to 56 earlier. Dipped as low as 41, now holding at 45. Gotta love this stuff, huh, Charlie? Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full service staff, long-standing staff over at Legacy Title. Our team, which consists of Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060. Massaro with his 5-pack. He's been hot on the college picks when we return.
Live at lunch from Rufino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Chris Massaro with us right now. Let's get right to it, Chris. Let's get to your 5-pack. Who are we looking at this week?
All right, first game I bet Sunday was Missouri, +8. I know we're down to 6.5 or 7. Oklahoma's off that huge win last week. We all saw it. But, Bama had a 95% post-game win expectation. So I'm really not sure how good this Oklahoma team is. I'm holding on to that 100-1 for the championship. So I want them, obviously, to make the playoff. But I'm a little nervous. So this bet is, I like Missouri, but it's almost a little bit of a mini hedge just in case something crazy happens and Oklahoma blows it. But listen, the Sooners only had 12 first downs last week, only 212 yards, only 138 yards passing, and 74 yards rushing against Alabama. Bama really screwed it up with the 2 fumbles and the interception. So I'm a little nervous here. Missouri's D's been top 30 all year in scoring, only giving up 21.4 points a game. Top 10 in yards allowed, 283, 11th in yards per play. They're only giving up 3.3 yards per rush. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. They're not going to really go crazy with Zollers. He was only 8 for 15 for 112 yards last week. Obviously, Ahmad Hardy had the big game, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. But Oklahoma's D's been stout as well, only 9th in points, 11th in yards, only giving up 4.1 yards per play. That's 5th in the country. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think both defenses are going to, stand up. It's one of those early starts again. I know we went under a total in that Ole Miss Oklahoma game in the early start, and it didn't go our way. But I like Missouri plus the points, and I'm going to go under the total. So that's going to be 2 of my plays. Missouri's only been on the road twice this year. Both of those games went under. It was a 23-17 win at Auburn and a 17-10 loss at Vandy. So Missouri seems to not bring much offense when they go on the road, and their defense has been strong all year, especially against the run. I anticipate a low-scoring, close game throughout with hopefully Oklahoma getting the win, but Missouri getting the cover.
All right, Chris, it's rare to go into Knoxville and Tuscaloosa in consecutive weeks and come out of there with wins. There's no doubt. So Oklahoma, so no matter how they did it, but, it wasn't just a pick, but it was a pick 6. And, damn it, they got the best place kicker in college football. I mean, my man who's wearing the damn arena or Speedo bathing suit out there just kicked. 49 of 50 on kicks. Extra points in field goals. He's perfect, like 8 for 8 from 50+. He's a weapon when you can play field position football like Venables is. But also the line moved from 9.5 to 6.5 clearly says Pribula is going to give it a go. This would be Zoller's first true road start. That's a tough place to go into Norman, Oklahoma. Drinkwitz, as we know now, he has not one SEC win against a team that finished with a conference-winning record since he's been his 25-23 record overall at Missouri. But they can't afford to go into Oklahoma with a 39 rush, 15 pass attempt, run-pass ratio. There's no way. Zollers isn't ready for it. They took the ball away from him last week. Pribula is going to give it a go in under 100%, but that's why the line, I think, is going down. So, and I heard early in the week was expected. I know from doubtful to questionable, but I think Bo Pribula is getting a start tomorrow.
I just don't. Even if he does, I just don't. I mean, Oklahoma at home, probably gets a win, but I just don't see them. And Missouri D's they've been very impressive all year. That game against Alabama, I was so impressed by them. Even though they lost that game, they were just very stout up front. They just never got rattled. They just made a lot of big plays. They're a really, really good defensive team, and obviously Oklahoma is too. They probably get more accolades, but I just feel like this is going to be a tight game throughout.
All right, Chris, next. You got the Missouri and the under. Who's next?
I was going to go with Iowa as well, but I'm looking at this Iowa-Michigan State game. And, Michigan State off the bye last week, figured they'd have, some fight in their belly, but they really just did not. Going against a Penn State team that doesn't really have a great defense. Penn State was only 41st in points, 47th in yards allowed, 77th against the run, and Michigan State just did nothing against them. Only 229 yards total, only 12 first downs, 6 punts. Now they got to go to Iowa. Iowa off 2 losses, senior day. I'm strong on Iowa, but I don't want to lay the 17, so I'm going to go under the 42.5. Iowa's been 8th in points allowed all year, 9th in yards per play. Sparty's offense has been offensive, only 92nd in points, 108th in yards per play. In Iowa's home games, they've only given up 7-7, 20 to Indiana, 24 to Penn State, 3 and 18 to Oregon, so they've been really solid at home. I like this game to stay under the total. It's tough to lay the 17 with the under, so I'm just going to stick with the under. I can definitely see it being a 27-10 type of game, 23-10 type of game, very low-scoring game, and I think Iowa probably gets the win. I hope it stays under 42.5.
42.5 is a number at our local outfit here, the DraftKings outlet at the Queen Casino. Next.
Going with Vandy, off a bye, at home, a week to recharge the batteries a little bit. And I think they're going to need some style points for the committee. They're definitely still in the mix for the playoff. We've talked about their offense all year. Elite offense, 9th in points per game at 37.6, 4th in yards per play at 7 yards per play. And you got Kentucky. Their 3 road games this year, they've only mustered up a total of 37 points. Granted, they got a win at Auburn. They're 1-2 on the road, but they got smoked by South Carolina 35-13, smoked by Georgia 35-14. Like I said, they eked out the win against Auburn, got Hugh Freeze fired. But they beat a dead Florida team. They beat Tennessee Tech. I think this is actually a pretty cheap price on a Vandy team off the bye, looking for a couple style points. They're getting a little, Kentucky's getting a little credit for a couple wins in a row. But I think this is a really good spot for Vandy. I found an 8 last night at minus 111. I like Vandy to put up some points and maybe some style points to impress the committee.
Diego Pavia, busloads coming in for New Mexico for Senior Day tomorrow in Nashville. So hopefully you dance with both of your cell phones in your pockets. Continue.
I'm going to go with the stinky number of the week, and, you look at this game, and you're saying, wow, that's such a short number on Georgia Tech. So I'm gonna roll with Pittsburgh. I went with Pittsburgh last week. It didn't go too well, and I mentioned it. I was nervous that Heinzel, the quarterback, the freshman quarterback, had a propensity to turn the ball over, and sure enough, he has 2 dreadful interceptions that really flipped the game early. So I just hope he cleans that up a little bit this week. But this is a perfect matchup for Pitt. If you look, the Panthers' defense is very solid stopping the run, 8th in the country at only 2.8 yards per rush, and they're very good at keeping opposing quarterbacks in check. Last week, C.J. Carr, 5 rushes for only 7 yards. So I think it's a good time to bottle up Georgia Tech. Their running game, obviously Haynes King, very excitable quarterback. He's very good, gets out of the pocket. But I think Pittsburgh's defense should be able to control them. And on the flip side, Pittsburgh's passing game, which is 40th at 7.9 yards per pass and 13th in the country in yards per game at 286, should find huge success. Last week, lowly Boston College passed for 362 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tech is allowing the 94th most yards allowed per pass, 98th yards per game allowed. So this Georgia Tech back end is not very good, and you enter a Pittsburgh passing game that is. And then one other thing that's very important, Georgia Tech does not turn the ball over. They only have 2 interceptions all year, 134th out of 136 teams in interception percentage. So I think that this matchup really does favor Pittsburgh. They're solid at stopping the run. Pittsburgh's passing game is going to get right against Georgia Tech's weak secondary. I think Pittsburgh pulls the upset, turns the ACC into total chaos for who's going to this championship game.
Pittsburgh plus 2.5. Vandy minus 8.5. Under Iowa, Michigan State 42.5. Under 42.5. Missouri and Oklahoma, and Missouri plus the 6.5. Chris, we're out of time. Thank you, buddy. Good luck to you this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, have a great weekend, guys. Talk to you soon.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. Your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business. From initial startup loans to ongoing planning and assessments, United Community Bank is here for you. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments from Rufino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I think we got everything. You're watching the stock market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got Moscona watching the flight trackers. He identified a plane on the way to get a dog in Oxford this morning. Not making this up. He put that on Twitter. I think Cobble is still at the airport. We still got him out there in the tent. We're good there.
I think
the guy from the Clarion.
He's in the hangar.
The guy from the Clarion Ledger went to hot yoga with Lane Kiffin this morning and wrote an article.
Is that right?
I read it during the break. It's very challenging.
Kiffin loves it.
Yeah, they do it in a hot box, and apparently
This is
very challenging.
This is what you get with Lane. This is what you get.
Hot yoga, airports, stock market.
And I know I'm going to record. Look, I mean, I think he gives LSU the best chance to have success of their options. But I also think he's a better fit at Ole Miss than LSU, because they are willing to tolerate these shenanigans more than LSU will.
The administration of the fan base.
I think both, but more to the fan base.
Because this administration has put up with some shenanigans with the prior coaches. I mean, think about it. Plenty of shenanigans with multiple coaches. I understand that there's going to be less patience with the fan base.
But this Lane stretches out this circus atmosphere of this whole thing.
The perception. Oh, no, he does.
No, this ain't perception. It's reality. It's happening.
The ultimate.
No,
troll.
it's happening.
Yeah.
No. His players are antsy. Everybody's antsy, and he's just he could end it if he wanted to.
Hadn't shown the inclination to do that just
Yes.
yet. Back with our number 3 here. Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments from Rufino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
We really should have sent him to Oxford.
Yeah. Brucey.
Let's take this thing out for us.
Have you talked to our buddy Brett Norsworthy? We had him on the show earlier this week.
Yeah, I was just texting with him last night. Yeah.
And
no, well, we just I reminded him that he had the most prophetic words I've ever heard at an SEC media day, and it was I want to say 2013. It was back in Hoover, and he told me he said, this league, he said, somebody has to lose, and I said, yeah, it's pretty. He said it can't always be Vanderbilt, and so I was just talking about the coaching stuff and what's going on, but. That's basically what it was. I was reminding him. You did say that, and all this stuff is going on, but he doesn't think Lane's going to leave for whatever that's worth. We'll see.
He went on the record as saying that, but he loves Ole Miss, and we love our team too. Okay, but Arch was going to Ole Miss.
He's a great guy. We love him, but I got a feeling he might have his weekend ruined for him.
You think that why in the hell would you damage the one advantage you have at Ole Miss where there's no pressure? There's less pressure, at least.
Yeah.
Why would you damage all that by sending the family to Gainesville and Baton Rouge to kind of rub it in their face? I mean, you could have just asked for more. No, this is what I will stay. You just give me this right here. He could have demanded that, or Sexton could have demanded that without all this dog and pony show.
That's a good point. And and my thought, and Brett doesn't disagree when I say this, it's that Lane sort of flourishes on this controversy around him. And in a way, I equate him to Jerry Jones a bit in a different role. But Jerry I am convinced he just likes to see his name in the press, no matter what. So he'll end up doing things like doing the Micah Parsons holdout, and it just gives Jerry an excuse to get out in front of people. And if Lane just sat back and just, did what we think he should do here, that wouldn't be in character for him. He has to play this up all the way, and I think that I swear this is gut feel. And Brett doesn't disagree. He doesn't necessarily agree with me, but he doesn't disagree. That's what Lane does. He just feeds it's the buzz around him, and that's part of it. And he's playing this for all it's worth. And by sending his family to Gainesville and Baton Rouge, that sort of is just in with his character and just milking this for every bit it's worth. So that's what I think. But I agree with you that and Brett, I kind of think he's going to stay there. But again, this is Lane. I mean, he's surprised us before. We'll see.
There's no other coach with all this going on. And if your ex-wife and your family, whatever, wants to go tour both Gainesville and Baton Rouge, that's fine. Okay, and then come on McAfee show the next day. I mean, there's no other coaches doing this.
No,
there's nobody. There's nobody, and so this is why they were burning things when he left Knoxville and wanted to name the sewage treatment plant after him. And Hayden said, "Hell, man, just get off the plane, get on the tarmac, find your own ride home from Tempe." But he has also gotten Ole Miss to heights that they haven't seen since Johnny Vaught. Period. That's a long time ago. And so, that's 60 years ago. And so there you have it. And the bottom line is Ole Miss is not Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. They're not. Okay? But we do know that gap is tightened with the new landscape of roster building. And he's embraced it. He bitches constantly about it. Oh, we don't have little Ole Miss against big bad LSU and this and that, but he's very good at it. And there's a lot of coaches, really good coaches, experienced coaches that flat out quit or suffering because they have not adapted. And as much as he whines about it, he's very good at the new roster management.
I ran into a friend of ours yesterday. He said, you know what I think Lane Kiffin's going to do? I said, what? I said, because I think I've heard it all. He says, I think he's going to coach out the season at Ole Miss and go all the way as far as they go in the playoff, and then he's going to take the Giants job. I said, if that happens, I'll give you credit because you're the only person I've heard that believes that. I said, but you know what? I can't even rule that out because it's Lane.
But the further it goes on, he's aggravating more and more people now. Whoever, it's going to be fine. If he goes to Florida, they don't care if they were dangling it away. If he stays at Ole Miss, they'll throw him a party. Although that next Kentucky loss is going to be treated a little bit differently than last year's. Yeah. And in LSU, might get antsy and might get impatient and move on before the Egg Bowl. Keep in mind, rivalry week. I know it's sped up, but it wasn't that long ago. Rivalry week is when Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly landed the LSU and USC jobs. So we'll have to see. Let me ask you this as far as a bet. The money line is out. Mississippi State is plus 310 in the Egg Bowl, plus 9.5. But there are some outlets, and I just got on one, plus 1120 to miss the playoff for Ole Miss. What is your thoughts on if they lose the Egg Bowl?
One, I don't think they're going to lose the Egg Bowl, so I wouldn't take that bet, even though that's an interesting bet.
Okay.
I do want to say one thing, though. Charlie's thing about the Giants, I don't think that's completely impossible. One, the time frame. If Lane's going to go, that he could wait until after the playoff to actually do that if he did it. But two, I know that a couple years ago, that from what I heard, that when Harbaugh was kind of doing that stuff with the Chargers, and that took a little while to come together, Lane was wondering, why don't the Chargers call me? This is what I heard. He said, God, you got Herbert there, and he said, give me a call. Come on, Jim, take the job. You should do it. So I don't think he's completely dismissed the NFL for what that's worth.
All right, Bruce.
The Egg Bowl, though, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As I said, but the Egg Bowl, no. Mississippi State, I think, has sort of exhausted its capability this year. So I don't think it's going to happen in the Egg Bowl. But that's an interesting bet. That's for sure.
Plus 320, dog. Plus 310, dog. Get it plus 1120. I got to put a little something on it, Brucey. Sorry. I'm looking for value. That value could mean garbage, okay? All right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had those.
Right.
But and guess what? This thing called live betting, Mississippi State jumps out 7-0. Yeah, that money line price on Ole Miss will be that much lighter. All right, Brucey.
Not impossible.
You are leading the charge in our college picks this year. Let's get right to it. Who are we looking at?
Okay, one. By the way, I had Coastal Carolina on there, but I scratched them because Samari Collier, their quarterback, is not going to play tomorrow at South Carolina. So I'm scratching that one, but I did have that one. 2 days ago, I would have given you Coastal. Let me give you who I've got now instead. Let's go back to Jimmy's favorite baseball park, Wrigley Field, because Northwestern is playing again at Wrigley Field tomorrow against Minnesota, and I'm going to give Northwestern a shot. It's a pretty short price. Now, this is their fourth attempt to get bowl eligible. They've played in some hard luck, and they had Michigan right at the last play last week. They lost that game. USC game, very misleading score 2 weeks ago. In fact, they should have had a 7-point lead right before halftime, and they fumbled the ball going in the end zone on the interception, and then SC miraculously scored right at the end of the first half, and that game got out of hand. And then the Nebraska game, they could have won before that. I still like what I see from Northwestern. Braun's defense is still pretty solid. I don't know about Minnesota. The offense just hasn't been that good. I know they're already bowl eligible, but darn, they are not running the ball the way PJ Flex teams used to run it. And everything is just a tough go for Minnesota this year. It's probably going to be an under, but I think I don't know that Minnesota's going to score more than 10. This looks like a 20-10 sort of game to me. Northwestern tomorrow at Wrigley Field. There's one.
All right, the Purple Cats. They got it home for us last week against Michigan. All right, next.
Okay, Jimmy, down in Waco, there's other things going on this week. In fact, the school president just announced today that Dave Aranda is going to stay, but you know the way school presidents are. They can change their mind. I mean, her AD just left this week, Mac Rhodes, and that's also Aranda's direct boss. I don't know what the future holds here at Baylor. I do know they have been one of the real disappointments this season. There's been a couple of them in the Big 12. Kansas State is one, and Baylor certainly the other one. The defense just has not done it this year. I mean, they're giving up 40-plus most weeks, and that's supposed to be Aranda's specialty. You guys know about that from his LSU days, and it's kind of odd because, I thought Baylor was going to be a team to watch coming into this year. And Robertson's still putting up some pretty good numbers. It's the defense that's the problem. Arizona is a couple of plays from being 9-1 right now. They have sufficiently, and Brent Brennan has sufficiently rehabilitated his rep from that very bad first year he had in Tucson last year. Noah Fafita is back on track, 24 TD passes, just 4 picks this year. And Arizona looks like a pretty live one to me. So I'm going to take the Wildcats tomorrow in Tucson over Baylor.
The momentum, nice win on the road last week for Arizona against Cincinnati, coming back home. All right, Bruce.
Okay, here's one. How about this one, off the beaten track? You love this one, Jimmy and Charlie. The Battle of I-10. I don't know if you've ever been down to El Paso, but Las Cruces is only about 45 minutes away. In that part of the country, that's like right around the corner. So New Mexico State and UTEP have a pretty good rivalry. Also, I don't know, if you're driving there, it's an odd sight seeing all of a sudden out of nowhere you see El Paso and Juarez. A million people there. Out of nowhere, this metropolis pops up. Sunland Park. I don't know if you've been there, Jimmy, but that's the racetrack. It's tucked right into the border. You've been there. You enter the parking lot on the Texas side, but the track is actually in New Mexico. It's a beautiful track, nice casino, really nice. But anyway, New Mexico State, UTEP this week. This has been a road-oriented series. New Mexico State isn't all that bad this year. Tony Sanchez, I give him credit. I mean, they've been covering some numbers. They covered pretty handily last week at Tennessee, sort of a nothing game for Tennessee, but New Mexico State didn't embarrass itself. It throws a lot. Logan Fife, their quarterback, has bounced around a little bit, but they do have a pretty good passing game. UTEP does not. The transfer from USC and Boise, Malachi Nelson, got benched halfway through the year. I don't know where he's going to end up next year. Maybe in the Big Sky. We might see him quarterbacking at Weber State, but, I mean, he has been a big disappointment. And Scotty Walton has had to go back to his quarterback last year, Locklear, who was actually putting up better numbers. Nonetheless, UTEP is losing. You're getting a few points in New Mexico State, and there's my off-the-radar pick this week, the Aggies in the Battle of I-10 at the Sun Bowl.
Aggies might be a little bit short of a crowd in El Paso as all Diego Pavia's crew is going to Nashville for Senior Day. So anyway,
That's right.
Micah Davey, one of the leading tacklers in the conference for UTEP, he is number one in Conference USA with 116 tackles. Go ahead, Rohan. Proud Papa. All right, Brucey, who's next?
All right, let's go to the SEC for this one. Let's go to Music City. And Vanderbilt, which is still hanging around there just outside of the top 12, they could use a little bit of chaos above them. It's not impossible they could slip into the playoff, but I don't know how they're going to finish here. We talked 2 weeks ago before the Auburn game that Vanderbilt usually loses a bit, well, last year at least, lost a bit of altitude in November. And they certainly have some problems in the Auburn game. They easily could have lost that. I mean, Daniels put up over 500 yards of Auburn offense, and that was an overtime that Vanderbilt needed to survive. And they had last week off, but that narrative about Vanderbilt sort of slowing down late in the season may still apply. Listen, Kentucky, something's happened here the last few weeks. About a month ago, we would have thought Mark Stoops, in fact, we had heard, he might be in some trouble there. They're talking about buyouts and things. Well, that's been quieted now. They've won 3 in a row. This defense has always been good this year, and they except the Tennessee game, but they are they're physical and they're rough. And Cutter Boley is starting to look like an SEC quarterback finally. I mean, he is sort of a dual threat.
His numbers are not bad, yeah.
Not bad. And listen, they blew out Tennessee Tech last week. That was a 10-0 team in FCS coming into Lexington. No contest the week before. Blew out Florida. I mean, absolutely embarrassed them, and they kept Auburn to 3 points the week before that. Bottom line is they're playing pretty well, and when Vandy has won this game in recent years, they haven't beaten Kentucky in Nashville in over a decade, but even last year the game in Lexington was close. I think Mark Stoops keeps this thing really close. I think Vandy is on real upset alert this week. I know Pavia, we love him, but I'm going to take the recent trends and give Kentucky a shot plus the points tomorrow, Jimmy.
Does Senior Day distraction, the Gordy Rush angle? We've seen it. There's going to be a little pomp and circumstances with Diego in Senior Day tomorrow.
Most relevant Vanderbilt player ever.
Ever. Yeah. Not even Brucey, you're a Vanderbilt historian, huh? Not even close, huh?
Well, Billy Wade won an NFL title as a Vanderbilt quarterback, so I'm not quite there yet. But in recent times, yes.
Okay.
Yes. More than Jay Cutler, yep.
Okay. All right, and finally, last one.
Mountain West, your favorite stadium, Jimmy, Snapdragon.
Yes.
And San Diego State, they got back last week like we thought they would recover last week against Boise, and they did. That game was in a rainstorm last week, but, boy, they shut Boise down pretty good, so they bounced back from – they were used to rain because it was raining the week before in Hawaii. Now, they get San Jose tomorrow. What can we say about San Jose State? I did see them in person last week, 2 weeks ago, and they lost that game to Air Force, but I could never envision them or anybody else giving up 55 points to Nevada like last week. A complete surrender. But this season really went off the rails for San Jose early when they thought this was going to be a kind of a big year, and they blew 2 games early in the season to Central Michigan and Stanford because their field goal kicker, that little kid that transferred from SC with the long hair and he doesn't wear socks, missed a couple of very short field goals and to win the Central Michigan game and also Stanford. They should have won both those games. And that seemed to that set the tone, and they have blown game after game, and now the team has sort of quit. I worry about Coach Ken. San Diego State has only allowed 38 points in 5 home games this year. This is not too big of a number, Jimmy, for the way San Diego State has pounded teams this year and the way San Jose has looked. By the way, I do this thing I call AFS away from spread. And last week, the 55-10 loss at Nevada when they were an 8.5, 9-point favorite, that is the worst single game away from spread effort in the entire country this year. That is not a good look for San Jose. I'm taking San Diego State laying the points as the Aztecs get ready to host the Mountain West title game in 2 weeks.
Sorry, Brucey, off the cuff, though. You're available to come on with us, give you your top 2 picks on NFL Football Sunday this Sunday?
You just tell me. Just ask me. I'll be there.
Now, well, I'm asking you right now. So we're going to tie it in because I know you're going to have the flight tracker working with Lane Kiffin. So we'll,
yes. I'll be ready Sunday if you need me.
The daughter, the son. I mean, is he enrolled here?
Yes,
anyway.
that's for sure.
Brucey, we'll talk to you on Sunday, man. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, boys. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So don't forget our friends over at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine did, there's only one number you need to call. That's 288-8138. 288-8138. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. And they are built to last. The RLS wood, the gelled wood frame windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot and termites, providing years of beauty, minimal maintenance. They look good, they last, they're functional. The best of both worlds. So of everything. Extreme South Louisiana weather conditions, you have to get some. Don't do like I did. And well, the original construction of my home, I did not get these wood specially treated windows from Relief Windows. In 10, 12 years, I had to replace both sides of my house. Call Relief Windows, 288-8138, and reliefwindows.com.
Log of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Charles Hannegriff's 5-pack of picks. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
Another 2-3 week last week, sliding a couple games under 500 for the year. Did get home with Oklahoma. Missed with USC by a couple of points, and got home with Georgia, missed with Duke, and just missed with TCU by about 30 or so against BYU. That's not one of my better picks, but we'll see if we can rebound here this week. Do a little bit better. Hadn't been god-awful, but it hasn't been great either.
USC dug themselves too big of a hole, Charlie. They were close to covering. They just ran out of clock and ran the clock out at the end.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take USC again, plus 10.5 at Oregon. Oregon's been a good bully. They have dominated lesser competition, Rutgers, Okie State, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Against teams with a heartbeat, it's been a lot closer. 2-point game at Iowa. They lost against Indiana. 2 overtimes against Penn State. USC's got a heartbeat. Now, this is a road game, but they don't change time zones. The 2-point loss at Illinois. 10 points at Notre Dame. I thought that game was a little bit closer. It certainly was on a yardstick. They lost the turnover battle. This is top pass offense in the Big Ten against the top pass defense. Give me double-digit points here. I'll take the Trojans plus 10.5. Going to go with Bruce and against Chris. I'm going to take Kentucky plus the 8.5 at Vandy. Last 5 games for Kentucky. Should have beaten Texas, lost by 3. They lost at Tennessee in a game that was a hell of a lot closer on the yardstick than the scoreboard. They lost the turnover battle pretty badly that day. And then 3 straight wins. Auburn, Florida, they got the layup last week against Tennessee Tech. Vandy, been grinding. Big deficit at Texas. They came back. They won that game at Auburn. I don't know if they should have won, but they definitely should not have covered. I think that this is too many points. I think that this has been a long grind for Vanderbilt. 7-point win against LSU, 7-point win against Missouri. Alabama got them late. I think Vandy grinds out a win, but give me Kentucky plus the 8.5. I kind of like Vandy by, I would say, somewhere between 4 and 7 points in this game. I'm going to take Arkansas plus 8.5 at Texas. 6 losses by 1 score for the Hogs. They haven't covered as many as I thought they did, but they have covered 3 of the last 5. When these numbers have gotten higher, they have gotten too high. The 7.5 against A&M was too many. The 10 against Tennessee was too many, although they had to get there late. Just play it close. Texas is 2-7-1 against the spread. It's a pretty rough game. They're coming off against Georgia and then A&M next week, so it's a classic sandwich spot. I'm not saying Arkansas is going to win, but I'll take the 8.5 points. Going to take Pitt plus 2.5 at Georgia Tech. Wasn't wild about Pat Narduzzi's comments last week. Apparently neither was Marcus Freeman over at Notre Dame, but they did tell you where the focus was going to be, and it's on the last two games. Before that Notre Dame game where they were a little bit outclassed, they had won 5 in a row. Heichnell has in that 5-game winning streak, had the offense averaging 40 points a game, so they have done a good job there. I think Georgia Tech may be a little bit fortunate. They lost to a middle-of-the-road NC State team. They squeezed by a bad Boston College team. They gave up 537 yards and 34 points against them. That's the most they've given up since the first week in September. So I'm going to take Pitt to win the game outright. So I'll scoop up the 2.5 points, obviously, here. Take the Panthers. And I'm going to take Penn State minus 7.5 against Nebraska. I think that this line is just screaming for you to take Nebraska, the 7-3 team against the 4-6 team, 7.5 points. But I'm going to take Penn State. Ethan Gunkenmeyer, I think I'm probably not saying that right. His quarterback rating has gone up for 5 straight games. He's growing up right in front of us. Everything about this line just screams take Nebraska, so I won't. I'll take Penn State minus a 7.5 at home on, altogether now, Senior Day at Penn State. So that's mine. USC.
Trying to get these lines right because they're jumping around on you a little bit, Charlie.
All right. USC, Kentucky, Arkansas, Pitt, and Penn State.
Yeah.
Those lines were this morning. So
Pitt is plus 2.5 right now. These according to DraftKings over at the Queen Casino. The 10 is what you're getting with USC.
USC 10, all right.
Plus 10. Kentucky plus 8.5, as you cited. I said Pitt plus 2.5.
Arkansas plus 8.5.
Arkansas plus 8.5.
Okay, and Penn State is 7.5.
Penn State, looking, that would have been going down. It was 9.5. It went to 8.5 yesterday, and it is 8.5.
8.5.
8.5. Yes, 8.5.
Rats. All right, I'll take it anyway.
Penn State, their interim coach, they are 3-1 against the spread, and they had first and goal against Ohio State, or they would be perfect 4-0 against the spread for Penn State. There, they kind of took the ball out of their Gruckenmeyer's hands last week. They just leaned on that running combination and overcame a 7-0 early deficit of Michigan State and rolled to an easy cover there. Stinky line, I think Georgia Tech and Pitt playing in Atlanta on campus, unlike where they'll play next week against Georgia as a home game. They'll play in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. But 5-0 straight up and against the spread, came to a screeching halt last week against Notre Dame. Gruckenmeyer was forced into some bad interceptions. They lost that win. Big game. Freshman quarterback versus senior quarterback. I don't know. We'll see what Haynes King and Georgia Tech has in store for him there. You talked about Arkansas and Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino is, he is 0-5 in the interim, Charlie, by a total of 18 points. Yeah. I mean, that is something. 19 points. 3.8 points a game they're losing these 5 games by. So they're playing very, very close. We know they lost by 1 point here in Tiger Stadium last week. Playing very close in Texas, playing against Arkansas right before they played Texas A&M.
And after they played Georgia.
And according to our buddy Paul Stone, who's a Texas alum, nobody hates us more than Arkansas. So,
and it's a long list of people that hate Texas, too.
And Texas, of course. Texas, on the other hand, they have not been good. They in their 6 SEC games, they are 1-5 against the spread, and their one cover was against a banged-up Mateer in Dallas against Oklahoma. So living really vicious in Texas, not performing at the level they're perceived to be. A little bit of a common theme there. So
this season for sure.
There we go. Diego Day.
They
retire his number right there. Huh?
Statue,
huh?
That would probably be justified.
Mom and Theo Vaughn meeting him with the flowers.
Did this game make your? Did this game make you bored? Was it Chris picked it? Bruce picked it? I picked it? It's been popular. The Vandy.
No.
You didn't.
No.
It's not. Didn't make you board.
No.
All right. Well, then who you like?
I'm actually including. I just can't see Pavia allowing his team to lose. Boley has been improving a little bit. They've won their last couple of games. I'm not so sure about the effort Florida brought it to Commonwealth Stadium. That was a different team that played in Ole Miss than I thought in Kentucky. But I'm going to just throw it into one of my money line parlays with Vanderbilt. So,
I think they win the game. I just don't think they cover the 8.5.
Yeah. I don't have an opinion on the line. So it has been just teetering back and forth. You saw 7.5 at one point?
No, I didn't.
I thought that's what you said. Okay, Penn State, you saw 7.5.
Yeah, Penn State was 7.5.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The Kiffin meter at Cal, she got up to the 60s for a short pick. It's at 59 currently.
That's high. When we started the show, it was
You're
50.
like Mad Money guy, huh? On the SM.
Oh, I love Kramer. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's great. He's great. What was it when we started the show?
Oh,
51?
Charlie.
I thought you knew off the top of your head.
No.
It was 50-something. It was
The
30
high is at 60. The low is at 41 today.
That meeting's got to be over. I mean,
he was 31 yesterday during the show.
I mean, don't we have somebody perched outside of Keith Carter's office to see what kind of face he emerged with? You know, smile, frown, scowl.
Keith Carter's, he's doing his pitch as well.
He's doing what he can.
I mean, it's just
the offer's been on the table for a long time. All you can do is make the best offer. You can't make him take it.
Daughters in Baton Rouge, mamas from Gainesville. I mean, when are we going to see another one of these, huh?
I would say never, but we've managed to top it just about every time. I mean, think about some of these.
This one is.
No, this one's out there.
This guy loves it. Most coaches just run from this. How many coaches with all this swirling around would jump on a national platform like a McAfee show? Nobody.
No.
I mean, how many guys would everybody? You take a lower profile, and everybody's trying to start. He's on day 242 of his little sayings book. Whatever that is.
Refresh my memory. Did they not have on the scroll for the LSU Texas A&M game? Tom Herman will be the next coach at
no.
Or
Expected
to be.
Yes.
They had the camera on Oliva in the suite and it was.
That was a Friday game, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Black Friday?
Yeah.
That wasn't Thanksgiving night, was it? It might have been.
Oh, it might have been Thanksgiving.
I think it was.
I think it was Thanksgiving night.
I think it was a night game.
Yeah. Done deal.
4-letter words.
Dirty words.
4-letter words.
Dirty words. Don't say done deal. Say done deal after the press conference. And sometimes not even then.
I mean, I saw my man do let's sing Pig Suey.
Dana
Altman?
Leave.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Nope. A little too weird for me.
Didn't Bobby Cremins pull out on somebody too?
Yeah, South Carolina.
South
Georgia
Carolina.
Tech.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And Sankey is taking a strong stance. No jumping from conference school.
Yeah, that ship sailed. Now he's trying to fend off presidents going from one school to the other. That ship's going to sail too.
You're in town for senior night for the LSU football game this week. You're staying downtown. A great suggestion for a quick bite to eat is Town Square Pizza, man. You just go on the line. They've got all the ingredients. Now you can do the specialty pizzas that we have. So, or you can kind of build your own and just kind of pick a little bit of this, a little pepperoni, a little onions, a little mushrooms, a little extra cheese. Boom, pop it in that oven. 7-8 minutes. Comes out fresh, piping hot. It is really good. It's generous portions, inexpensive. Man, kind of cash and kind of go. This time of the year, mild temperatures. You can eat outside or eat inside or take it, grab it, and go with you. So you stay in downtown. It's within 5 minutes of all the major hotels downtown. Downtown on North facing Town Square. It is Town Square Pizza.
Lock of the Week Friday presented by Tex Morris and Edward Jones Investments from Rufino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jimmy Ott's 5-pack of picks, brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
Charlie, I think we got calcium overload.
Yeah. Wreck the whole system.
I mean, my computer's
everything
down.
crashed.
It's just everything is just crashed. Oh my goodness!
Come on, we'll help you along.
All right, I'm going against you, Charlie. Nebraska. They are geared to play one-score games. I'm taking the Big Red plus 8.5. Again, Their Power 4 opponents exactly 7 points. Win or loss. Margin of win or loss. Penn State is showing some pride covering 3 of the 4 with the interim coach. But, again, I'm not ready to lay over a touchdown with the Penn State Nittany Lions. So, taking Big Red Huskers plus 8.5. I'm taking the Florida Gators plus 4. 2003 is the last time Tennessee beat Florida. You think the fans want to beat Tennessee? So make it certain that they'll knock them out of the college football playoff. But there's a reason there, and I think there's definitely mounting injuries on Florida's team, including their top 2 receivers. But I saw a different team against Ole Miss than I saw against Kentucky. I would feel confident that they're going to bring a high level of intensity against Tennessee. Fans want to beat them. They'll show up. It's going good. Give me Florida plus a 4 at home, and a rare underdog spot against Tennessee in this one. Brett Bielema making his return to his former employer, Madison, Wisconsin. And I just think that old Bielema are going to have a little something extra in the tank for the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin this season, 12 points a game, 135 passing yards a game. We know we scratched our head when they and asked, are you sure you want to do this? Be careful what you ask for. They wanted to modernize their offense from being just the big, burly offensive lineman, run-oriented team, which was not very entertaining, but a winning formula for Barry Alvarez that he started at Wisconsin. Not only that, but their starting quarterback gets hurt every year. They're rotating their quarterbacks between Williams and Smith. It's expected to be Carter Smith in this game tomorrow against Illinois. A big advantage for Illinois, a quarterback with Altmaier versus the revolving door there. Illinois minus a 7.5 on the road against the Wisconsin Badgers. BYU, home and away splits have been extreme. There's no doubt. You saw it last week, and I'm not going to kill them for getting handled in Lubbock against Texas Tech. Texas Tech's got a real shot to make a run in the college football playoff. They should take care of business next week in Morgantown after a bye this week on a neutral site. They should handle business in the conference championship game and get a bye into the quarterfinals. We will see. But Texas Tech, I'm not going to kill them for that. BYU bounce back. But now this is their 6th game of the season. Remember when the kosher Cajun, broke the honor code in Provo and he went to Tulane? Mm-hmm. So Prayer Bachmeier was at Stanford at the time. So he transfers. He's been rushed into it, and he's certainly more settled at home. But now this is game number 6 on the road. I think this team will be a little bit more settled. Cincinnati, on the other hand, are wearing defense. The last 2 games, they've given up an average of 37.5 points, 480 yards the last 2. A maturing BYU team on the road against Cincinnati minus the 2. Is that right, if we're looking at?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. Charlie with the hook handing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with Georgia Tech. Not going to do it. I know it's tempting. You know where I'm going to go to? I'm going to go to Maryland, College Park, Maryland. Michigan, 13-46. I'm going to go with the under. Is that the total right now?
46.5.
46. There you go. Hook handing again. So 46.5. Bryce Underwood, in 7 conference games this year, he has 5 touchdown passes. His 2 interceptions flipped the game around. They were in control in Wrigley Field against Northwestern. He throws 2 picks. It turns into 2 scores for Northwestern, and they need a last-minute drive for a field goal to win it at the gun. I think they're going to pull back the reins a little bit and not risk as much with Underwood throwing the ball. This is a battle of freshman quarterbacks, Underwood for Michigan and Malik Washington for the Maryland Terrapins. 4 in a row to start the year for Maryland. They've lost 6 in a row since. I think on the road this game would be a little bit tighter than usual, and I see because Underwood's interceptions made it that much tougher for Michigan. Keep in mind, they control their own destiny to make it to the college football playoff at 8-2 right now. But we're going to go with the under 46.5 Maryland and Michigan.
All right, Nebraska plus 8.5, Florida plus 4, Illinois minus 7.5, BYU minus 2.5, Michigan and Maryland under 46.5. You got a thought about tonight's game between Florida State and NC State?
I love the game. I left them out for some reason. I'm calcied out.
Okay. NC State has got to be the most helter-skelter team in the country. They've got wins against Georgia Tech and Virginia, who are a combined 18-3. 2 of those 3 losses came to NC State. They've beaten a 7-3 Wake Forest team on the road. That's a good win. But they lost to a lousy Virginia Tech team. They gave up 53 points to Pitt. Pitt's not bad, but they get 53 points.
They were not competitive.
Yeah.
And they faked a punt in that game to steal a touchdown.
And they got completely wiped off the field by Notre Dame and Miami. So they've just kind of been all over the place. They lost a game to Duke that they started off good, and they had some turnovers, and the game kind of swung towards Duke. They're all over the place. I'm probably going to end up taking the points with them tonight, but you can get just about anything with NC State.
Nick Saban was on the job for maybe a month and a half, and we had a chance to sit by just a brief time and say, man, why were you teams in Michigan State so inconsistent? So you've seen my quarterback?
C.J. Bailey.
You see C.J. Bailey? You don't know what you're getting out of him. From game to game in the wins against Georgia Tech, he was phenomenal. That's one of their biggest wins. Who is the next biggest win of the year? They got another good one in there.
They got Virginia and Georgia Tech.
Virginia and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the 2 teams that are probably playing for the ACC championship game.
He threw for 340 against Georgia Tech and ran for another touchdown. Against Virginia, he only threw for 200 yards, but he ran for 2 touchdowns in that game.
How many interceptions in those 2 games?
None.
How many throw in South Bend?
3.
How many throw in Pitt?
None.
None?
Actually, no.
Wow.
He had decent numbers. Their defense stunk it up that day.
I watched the game.
Yeah.
But they also faked a punt to seal the touchdown.
His numbers were okay against Pitt. No, the other one you're looking for is Duke. He threw 3 interceptions against Duke.
Well, then a game. The first half he was fine until a minute to go before the first half when he threw that pick on 4th down.
Yeah.
Now, to his defense, it looked like Duke had jumped off sides, and so the center snapped it a little early, so they were thrown off.
He thought he had a free play. Yeah,
yes,
I remember
he
that.
thought he
had
a free play with the center, and they never threw the flag. And so he just throws it away. They pick it, return it inside the 10-yard line, and it's a big turn, and then Duke stormed back in the second half. So the first half, he was great, minus that play, and then he was awful in the second. You just don't know what you're getting out of him.
We'll see tonight. I'm probably going to take the home team in the points, but
I'm going to take inconsistent quarterbacks, more settled at home. They usually bring a little something extra in Raleigh. I think they got a great shot to win the game outright.
Hawaii any good off the
alert, Charlie.
Hawaii
Houston Texans.
Hawaii
Houston
any good
Texans.
off the
Houston
island?
Texans on Thursday. Pack on Friday. Let's go.
They any good off the
Hawaii?
Off the island? They're UNLV tonight.
They've been better this year.
Okay.
They've been better this year.
Catching 2.5 points tonight.
UNLV's a little bit of a fade team.
We'll give you Max's picks when we get back and wrap things up here live at lunch from Rufino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Got Max's picks. He took the collar last week, so he has advised us to fade accordingly here this week.
Wait. What was his record last week?
0-5.
And he doesn't show today?
I think it was a coincidence in the schedule, right? He was going to take this one earlier in the week. Charlotte plus 43.5
here we
at
go.
Georgia. Thinks Kirby's going to take it easy.
How do you know?
Charlotte. I don't. I'm reading picks. I'm
giving
you. I'm giving you data, not offering an opinion.
Look, he got on. No, Jimmy, I know you don't like these, but Tennessee, and and he's right. It was documented that Heupel likes to run it up when he's a 30-plus point favorite. I took him last week. Guess what? Bam! L. I'm not tailing these 40-point spreads anymore.
Missouri State plus 6.5 at Kennesaw State.
God.
And then nothing about those teams. Hey,
Missouri State and Kennesaw State.
The rest, I got nothing for you. The rest of them you've heard of. Arkansas plus 8.5. That's a good pick because he agrees with me. Kentucky and Vanderbilt under 54.5.
Okay.
And his best pick of the week is no good because he's going against me. So he's taking Oregon minus a 10 against the Trojans.
Line of scrimmage, Dan Lanning, a lot of coaches, what they say is complete horse crap. But when he said, you took the job at Oregon, look, we got to be better at the line of scrimmage. Number 1, rushing offense in the Big Ten. And that's Michigan. That's Ohio State. That's Indiana.
And they've got the number 1 pass defense too, that's the matchup I want to see. Top passing offense in the Big Ten, top pass defense in the Big Ten.
It has been a rough go on for road games for the USC Trojans.
But they're not changing time zones this time. At least they're staying.
Last time they went to Pacific Northwest, they were a favorite, lost outright last year to Washington.
That was last year.
Okay. Well.
You don't have to take them. It's okay.
You know the game they covered? The one game, it was in a geographical Big Ten area in Notre Dame. They covered the 10.5 because Notre Dame missed a extra point in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
It's not been a profitable adventure on the road games and going to Rose Bowl and beating UCLA last year doesn't count.
Thanks to our friends at Ruffino's on Monday. We are at Chris's Specialty Foods right across the street. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.